Charter school boards of directors carry the ultimate responsibility for oversight of the financial management of the public charter school. Whether the school hires an outside vendor or conducts its operations in-house, the board still bears ultimate responsibility. Therefore, it is prudent for the board to develop robust financial management policies and procedures and implement an internal monitoring program to assure itself that everything is operating in compliance with applicable laws, rules, policies, and procedures. The success in financial management is reflected in the school's annual audit report completed by an independent certified public accountant. Your board must understand the big picture and ask the correct questions. What laws, rules, policies, procedures apply in your state for the receipt and expenditure of federal, state, and local funds that are allocated to public charter schools? Will your charter school manage funds through your own financial services staff, or will your school contract with a financial services vendor? What policies and procedures does your charter school board need to adopt, including internal control policies and procedures? And many other questions you need to ask yourself. A few items to bring into clear focus. State-approved accounting software. There will be a accounting software that has been approved by the state that your charter school will most likely be required to use that software. So you need to obtain that software and make sure you have staff trained on it or have a vendor that is trained on that software. Financial services management training is critical, and in some states there's specialized training that may be provided by the state or a local university that is required for a person to serve as a finance officer in a charter school. Charts of accounts include a series of codes that are used to identify expenditures and revenue that basically assign codes that deal with the object, the purpose, and other aspects of the expenditure for purposes of classification, and also showing what fund the expenditure comes from, and it's associated with cost accounting. Allowable expenditures. You need to understand what the rules are, because especially federal grants will have specific requirements in terms of what you can spend and on and what you can't, what's allowable and what's not allowable. You'll hear the term approved budgets. You'll need to approve an annual budget, any budget amendments, and you'll also need to approve individual budgets for your federal grants. You hear about state funds, local funds, and federal funds. You should understand the differences and also understand what rules apply to each set of funds. Recording of assets. What assets does the school own? How are those assets calculated? You need to take a look at those things. Inventories. And that's one of the areas that charter schools sometimes will fall short on, that you need to make sure that you're paying attention to. And that is, certain things that you may purchase may be required to be inventoried, and then you keep track of those things. So you need to not leave it at random. You need to have a policy and procedure on that, and make sure that your staff is trained so that they know when to set up inventories and what needs to be maintained in inventory. Personnel administration. That's another critical area, being able to account for everything, whether it's just the payroll taxes, employee benefits, insurance, and those types of things. Time and effort, documentation of time and effort, especially federal programs will require you to maintain certain paperwork to document time and effort of employees working under certain cost objectives. So you need to look at that. Your contractors, most charter school laws, most state laws for charter schools have a specific clause that is required to be included in all charter school contracts that indemnifies or exempts the state from being sued if something goes wrong to charter school. You should also understand the term closeout, that 30-day window before the end of the fiscal year when you kind of get your house in order before the closeout. And then, of course, the audit. And this conducted by the certified public accountant. So you need to familiarize yourself with some of these terms, explore them further.